demos. Let me share with you the program. Basically, it's like Kostas was saying yesterday in the introduction. We're bringing P5 down in the range, and that is actually what I would like to share with you. Give a little bit of background about HDR10 Plus and where we are going to bring it this year, first half in our range. And besides some other demos, I also have at the end what I call a sneak preview demo into the future. Many of you have seen me for many years. I'm about 25 years doing picture quality in this company. I'm longer in the company, but 25 years picture quality. I have to say, in that 25 years, the feature I'm going to show you at the end of this session is the best feature I have ever seen myself. In the past, we've done many new innovations in picture quality. This one is, I'm very proud on that one. It's not ready to bring right now to market, so we need to, I cannot reveal you yet an introduction date on that one, but it is so nice and so good already now to show you what we have in the pipeline. Okay, so to refresh your memory, P5, we're good with P5. I will come to some more background on that. But so P5 is the 5 pillars, and the 5 pillars are on top of sharp color controls, which I've been talking about all the time. We've added in this P5 story the source perfection, being, well, handling good sources, new sources like HDR, but also dealing with bad quality sources, because the way of watching TV has tremendously changed over the years. Watching more streaming, we know that together with streaming you can have very high quality, but you also can have very low quality. And then you need things like good noise reduction, good impact artifact reduction, smart bit enhancement, that stuff, which basically is the 5 pillars. Well, if you map them a bit more into detail, and I shared with you that presentation in a bit more detail at IFA, which I'm not going to do now, but to recap your memory, it's much more than 5 steps. It's 26 steps for those 5 pillars, and we actually, our claim is 50% more performance over our previous perfect pixel HD engine. Tremendous good picture quality processing. How good? Well, basically, you all of those of you who were at IFA, I did with you the sneak preview on that one. You know, at IFA I had in my workshops one demo to you, and it was 4 TVs. It were those 4 TVs. Now, that demo, we went with that demo to London, together with AV Forums. They were our facilitator. You probably read all about it at the internet, at the site of AV Forums. And we did the test with Philips versus Sony, Panasonic, and LG. And well, as AV Forums wanted to carefully handle that in the right way to do, they were calibrating the TVs. We did a test in calibrated mode. The test was done with the content I had been showing to you at IFA. On top of that, many other scenes, like from Blu-ray, we added a couple in. We added also stuff from streaming, from Netflix, a couple of clips in from a nice popular series. And in calibrated mode, for me already that was a surprise. We won that run with 32% over LG second and 22. But for me, of course, the most interesting one, that was my takeaway or my goal of that whole shootout, was to know, because you know in calibrated mode P5 is not working. It's starting from movie mode, you calibrate, and there's hardly any P5 processing working. Yet we won, but then P5 working at its maximum, that is in our vivid mode, and that was what I wanted to know. How good are we doing versus competition? And yeah, that score was tremendous, 68% preference. I will later on will refresh your memory with that demo here on that side. But yeah, because P5 is so good at this moment, we actually decided to bring it down into the range. And it means now we're expanding to 23 models P5. So you see that everything from 7,000 and up is actually P5 now. Besides that, something to highlight maybe also here is, and it's introducing in the next topic, the new innovation besides expanding P5, a new innovation is HDR10+. That is going to be in our range from 8,000 and up, let's say, in our entire 100 Hz range. It says 200 Hz frame rate, but this is our native 100 Hz range, 8,000 up. This is native 50 Hz range. So everything which is native 100 Hz now will also be HDR10+. Maybe some other new technology to mention is nano OLED. That is actually the panel we're using from LGD. Nano cell, it's called, with LGD to give you further enhancement on color enhancement, going from, let's say, in the past, and that's a short shootout I can do you, 85% DCI we had in the past on our 7502 range, and now in our A3 and A5 we have 90% DCI. But yeah, please remember P5 down into the range to 23 models, which is we're giving the best picture quality you can have in the market, now very deep end range. HDR10+, before that, okay, HDR10, yes, great innovation, further enhances your contrast, your colors, but yeah, it has also a problem, depending on the content you have, the nature of your content, dark or very bright or something in between. Well, with HDR10, which is static HDR, you have to do a certain tone mapping, make a choice, and if you choose to keep the dark parts preserved and enhanced, properly reproduced but enhanced in a proper way, then you have a problem for your bright scenes in that entire clip or movie. Or you make another choice and you say, okay, I'm going to tone map for the bright parts, for the bright content in the movie, in the clip, and the series. Then you're having a problem in your in the darker parts. Then you're going to clip there and hide details, and so you always make a wrong choice, or you make compromise and the wrong compromise. With HDR10+, of course, you don't need to make compromises, because scene by scene, you can actually go for another tone mapping and make sure that the dark content is then done in the proper way, your bright content and any content in between. Yeah, so this is the concept of HDR10+. It's a new standard, you know. It comes through HEVC through HDMI 2.1, scene by scene, as already mentioned. It's backwards compatible, very important. So any HDR10 TV today, even if it gets an HDR10+ stream, will give you still a picture. The standard is royalty free, which is very important for us. We don't need to charge more to the consumer because we don't need to pay royalties. And in our first half of the year, in our range 8,000 and up, we're going to have 7 models with this new innovation. Okay, that is in a nutshell the background I wanted to do, and now I want to do a couple of demos. Or already questions now or later?
Yeah, so the HDR10+ floating models, do they have HDMI 2.1?
No.
So So the dynamic metadata works with 2.0 models as well?
It does. For the real standard is HDMI 2.1, but there is a workaround that we are together with Samsung and Panasonic are working out, which is based also on HDMI 2.0. Okay. Maybe you'll go that side because first I want to show that couple to you. So what we have basically is on the left side a 2K17 TV, our 7502. It's a white color gamma TV as I explained last year, with 85% DCI. Now the right hand side is our 2K18 model, successor of that 7502, called 8000 range. It's actually replacing quantum dot technology because we launched last year in 8000 quantum dot. Now we're going to replace that by nano OLED and bringing 90% DCI color camera. And this is, it performs, so it's a good combination of tremendous good color enhancement and good viewing angle because it's a IPS panel. You all know that the viewing angle of that technology is great. It's still of course LCD. OLED is even better in viewing angle, but this is the best in LCD on viewing angle. Okay. So all our 8000s have this technology. A3 range, A5 range, which are the two flavors we have in terms of design, but the same package quality levels inside. It is based on edge-lit. It's no direct LED to the dimming. It's edge-lit in combination with nano. Okay. Maybe you now switch over. So many of you have seen this shootout, but and actually it was 4 TVs. Now I had only space for 3, so I took the liberty of having on the left side the Sony, Philips in the middle, and the LG. Unfortunately, the Panasonic, who actually did second best in one of the 2 tests, is not here, but I chose the more popular brands, Sony and LG, for this demo. Actually, this content I've been showing you, but I wanted to refresh your memories on P5, how good it is. It is also important in view of the rest of the demo. So you see actually in terms of sharpness, color and contrast based on a full HD source, so our upscaling technology really works. When you look to source perfection, it also works. First, put the demo right. This is normally always the most difficult part of the demo, but if you look left and right, then you see what you don't see in the Philips. There is noise in the background, and you see that the source perfection part of P5 really does its job and works. So first picture I showed you was good content. This is now bad quality source, and we're dealing with that properly. When I go really to the go one step up and again in quality, and for instance go to HDR quality, then you see even on that one. So regardless of your source quality, P5 always will give you the best result. You see that we're brighter, we're more sharp, or more colorful than the competition. For instance, if you take that one, any detail you see in the globe, you see the highlights and the sharpness of the white clouds much more. No clipping at all. So really as vivid as possible. Oh. You know, all of them are same panels. So the basic difference, you see they're all the same OLED panel. Main difference comes from the engine, the way you address your picture quality. And you know, I've shown you that also last time. LG, being the good provider of our OLED panels, screws up their own stuff by making the black levels really bad. If you look, for instance, what this lady sees through the window in a Philips TV, it's amazing, sharp and colorful compared to the competition. And in terms of motion, when I did this demo at IFA, the Sony was juddering all the time. This was when I bought it fresh. Meantime, I have this TV for like 6-7 months. Meantime, I've been doing a couple of software upgrades that Sony was pushing. You see it's now not juddering anymore all the time, but it's still having difficulty with catching. So after several upgrades in software, it's still in motion not as good as ours, nor is LG still also suffering from catching compared to us. So P5 was good at IFA already. It remained throughout the year, the test in London, and after having all TVs upgraded to their last status, still P5 is beating our competitors. In any pillar, being it source perfection, sharpness, color, contrast, and motion. And I also showed you that one at IFA. Actually, nothing changed in this sense on the LG. The LG was losing his ball and is still losing his ball. You know, motion compensation is about also detecting small objects and making sure that motion is smooth. And this is where LG fails. You see, Sony at the end almost loses the ball, but it's not as bad as LG, and we keep the ball all the time. Okay. But, so you've seen how good this is? Good. Let's watch that couple, so if you can stand there, we're going to switch over diagonally to the eye switcher. So what I want to show you first is, before I start this demo, is this TV, the 902. It's exactly the same model as there I just showed you in the middle. The picture quality style is our best picture quality style, it's vivid. I'm showing you that because as soon as I start the demo, you will probably think, how bad is this? Because this is so good. So I wanted to really show you. Other thing I would like to ask is many of you have now your camera in your hand to film or to make photographs. Really, guys, I would appreciate that you are in the first part of my demo. Don't film, don't take pictures. I'll pause it for you when you want to make a picture, and then as soon as I'm saying you can film, please do, because it's not